Welcome to the SEC Unfiltered channel. I'm your host, Dave Shumate, former college personnel director in the SEC, a couple other conferences as well, folks. But I'm here to bring you what we're all talking about on this Friday afternoon. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't going to do a Nico reaction to last night. I wasn't. Me and Cole Thompson on the overtime drive. Catch it on Monday and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. We went actually at 9 p.m. Eastern yesterday. Cole got in a little late. But point being, catch us on that show when you get a chance. Point being, I wasn't going to do an individual video, but after today and some tweets that were sent out to On3 reporters by agents, fathers of players, Nico Iamaleava, we had to discuss it. We had to discuss it. So I'm here to bring it to you guys. This reaction brought to you by our buddies, our proud title sponsor, FANDUEL. Visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $200 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Guys, let's get right to it. All right, he has every right to negotiate. He has every right in the world to negotiate. I mean, until we get the ruling on Deloitte, this is kind of the last hurrah for a lot of these agents, for these college players, parents in this situation to kind of go get what they can get, because these contracts are not going to be what they are anymore. I mean, because a lot of them would be technically illegal. I mean, they'd be all over the cap, the $20 million cap that these teams at football is going to get around $15 million in a lot of schools. So, I mean, these would be illegal. It's kind of the last year if it passes. Now, again, that's not 100%. We've seen it got passed up this week by the judge. So we're not there yet. Some people are anticipating that. But just bringing that up, he's fair to negotiate. I just think his father and his agent, who you can go see who that is by how they tweeted at Pete Nakos and On3 Reporter, which I thought was totally uncalled for, because two adults that weren't getting their way when Pete Nakos reported that Nico Iamaleava wanted to go renegotiate his deal, were saying, no, that's not true, we're happy with it. They were just mad he leaked their negotiation tactic. I mean, it's really embarrassing to people, but that's the problem in college athletics right now. We have these no-name agents, these nobodies that cause more harm than good, but they control the sport right now. Again, Chris Phillips tweeted at me today. I always say this on every show, or even when I'm talking to everybody from the SEC Unfiltered channel off record on the phone. I always say two things can be true at once. That is my line, always has been. And I think it is. I think that's true in all aspects of life. Most things are in the gray area. These agents, like the two we're talking about here, or the one we're dealing with, are complete clowns. But at the same time, you can't just not answer their phone calls. You can't just push them to the wayside. You can't just give them the middle finger. They control these prospects because these prospects and families are very naive to this entire process, and these agents and stuff take advantage of them. Again, I don't really think Nico's involved in this. Now, I'll say this. Terrible way to handle it if you are Nico, because you know what you can handle? You can handle what is happening to you. You go to practice. You 100%, you go to practice, folks. You go to practice. These are your teammates. Guys, you've sweat, you bled, cried with, I'm sure some of them. That's the hard part for me, is you do not opt out as you go to practice and you let the contract negotiation stuff sit on the back end. Now, some people say, well, you had guys like, Darrelle Revis opting out is one it always comes to mind years ago. But like NFL guys opt out, yeah, because it's a total business. Again, college football, it's a true business now. But still, you're not officially to that point yet. So easy for me to say, but I feel 110% I would show up to practice even if we were in these negotiations. I mean, I wouldn't have the agent he has, and I probably wouldn't have the father he has either. But no, you go to practice. That is what the issue was. I mean, this was a dumb move by all fronts. I mean, this was a dumb move by the agent and father probably overanalyzing really their self-worth here. I mean, he's asking for what? According to Chris Phillips here, Chris Lowe, who's, phenomenal. I mean, I think he's the most respected writer out there. I mean, he's the best. He's been on our show numerous times. He's one of the few that these head coaches like Lane Kiffin, he has tons of connections at Tennessee, Kalen DeBoer, Nick said people will talk to because they trust him. But like I said, he reported right before the winter portal closed, Iamaleava reps wanted his deal up to $4 million range. And again, this time as the spring portal opens Wednesday, and according to sources, Tennessee officials says they weren't going to blink. Iamaleava's reps were adamant Thursday to news outlets that there was no NIL renegotiation going on, but sources tell ESPN there's been growing frustration among the administration and players about the situation, especially with when Iamaleava did not show up to practice, which I totally get why the players would be frustrated. I can't speak on behalf of administration, but I do know some people that are close to this situation, close to the agent, close to the family. Again, I said it last night on our show in the overtime drive. I would be shocked if Nico ended up leaving Tennessee after a night's rest, after talking to the same person. I think that's totally wrong. I'm probably about, if you put it on the percentage, I probably would have put 20, 30% he wasn't, or he would be, that he wasn't leaving, 20, 30%, 70, 80% that he would be back in Knoxville. I think it's about 50-50 now, maybe 45, 55. I think they're looking to go back to the West Coast. You got to remember where he's from. I don't think there's going to be an open at USC, maybe UCLA. I mean, I see Twitter sphere rumors about Alabama. I don't think that. But the amount of money they're asking for this late in the process heading into the 2025 season, when you're only going to get 1 year at it. I mean, him and his family have stated numerous times this is a 3-year plan for them. 3 years in college, they're going to the NFL. Remember, he was the one that got reported the $7 million deal with the flight or something like 2 years ago when he signed with Tennessee. Just bad negotiation tactics right here by the agent and the father. But again, that's what you get when you don't get professionals or people that know what they're doing, really in any aspect of life. But how do you deal with it? I don't think Nico can come back from this. I really don't. I don't think Nico can come back from this. I mean, look, I've said all year going into the offseason, and we're still in the heart of it. We're not even really to it, Dave. That midway point. What am I talking about, Dave? I think Tennessee's got to win that Week 3 game against Georgia at home. I mean, if you're not going to beat Georgia at home when I think it's the lowest floor Georgia team, and when I say lowest floor Georgia team, folks, first world problems here. I think 9-3. But Week 3, you get them early. Best time you could get them at home. I think that was a must-win. Let's just say Nico stays and has a bad game. Can you imagine every Tennessee fan, and again, Tennessee fans, especially in the SEC, kind of own the Twitter sphere X right now. I mean, they're the most successful athletics program in the big 3 sports in the SEC. Back-to-back Elite Eights in basketball. I mean, the playoff appearance was embarrassing in football, but you still made the playoffs. Then you won a national championship in baseball last year with Tony V. I mean, Tennessee has the best athletics department in the SEC. It's up there in the country if you're just talking top 3 sports, the big 3. So, I mean, think about that. All the backlash, which would be fair. And he's a guy that needs all the reps he can get, folks. This is a guy that needs all the reps he can get. He was not that. I mean, again, I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people thought he was last year. I think the people who really know football know he wasn't that bad. But you really go look at it. I mean, a lot of his production last year was against the UTEPs, the Mississippi States. I mean, had 2 touchdowns against NC State, but still had 2 picks. UT Chattanooga had 3 touchdowns. I mean, against the better opponents, Georgia, 20 for 33, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Alabama, 14 for 27, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I know they won the game, but he played really bad in that first half. I mean, Alabama was up 7-0. It was a reason why Alabama had a lead, and Alabama didn't play that well. Against Florida, they won in overtime, 16 for 26, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Arkansas, and lost Arkansas. They lost 19-14. He went 17 for 29, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, Oklahoma game, they kind of took the ball. They kind of took the air out of the ball and just kind of got out of there. And then you add in everybody I talked to. It's really close to the kid in the family. He's a slow processor. I think his brother, Madden, who's the backup quarterback at Arkansas, who's been playing really well, I've heard, during spring ball, has a little bit more upstairs, a little bit of not as slow as a blinker as his brother. I mean, just go back to the Arkansas game last year, guys. The last play of the game, he ran out of bounds. You gave no shot, no football awareness, no football IQ, no FBI, which I always call it football intelligence, is what the FBI acronym stands for. But I don't think Nico can come back from this. I think it's over. That's wild to say with him opting out or opting in or just missing practice. That is what it did it for me. You can be in the negotiation. You may end up taking a little less than you want. You can't miss practice, especially when your clown agent and your father are out there bashing respected reporters, just doing their job, saying you're in contract negotiations, which you were, and they start calling you a bitch. is what they say. I mean, that's ridiculous, man. I say it on every show I'm on, every segment I'm on about college football. Just got done with college basketball. Get my mind off that. Well, we're still in the portal and stuff, but still, what is wrong with college football right now is we have too many agencies that have no idea what they're doing, but they have every college football personnel staffer by the you-know-what, by the male genitalia is what they have. You have to talk to them. I mean, I talk to college football people all the time. Like, they're like, yeah, that guy's really annoying. I deal from agents that are. I mean, I talked to an SEC GM that said he's dealt with street agents that know nothing, and he's dealt with Kirk Cousins' agent, who he was on the phone with when Kirk Cousins found out they drafted Michael Penix. So like, that's kind of the realm these GMs and people who deal with these agents are dealing with. You're dealing with the top elite agents that represent some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't know what your opinion on Kirk Cousins is at this point, but that's beyond the point. To guys that sitting on the couch eating potato chips all day. I mean, those are the clowns you deal with in this, and and again, I don't totally put this on Nico because I don't think Nico upstairs does all this negotiation. He's still a young kid. I think he's just listening to his father, listening to his agent, but you don't bail on your teammates. That's where you lose it, and I don't think you can come back from that. And I think the fan base is done with you as well. Now, it's easy to say. Now, where does Tennessee go from here? Do you let him walk? If you're Tennessee, do you let him walk? I'd love to hear in the comments here. Man, again, none of us know because we're not in that building. But I think college football does a bad job sometimes of just taking needs, and the NFL does too, when it's like you really don't know how this is going to affect your team overall. What's going to be – because, again, to get to where Tennessee wants to be right now, and I've said it, Josh Heupel's floor at Tennessee, I think he's got them. He's done so good so far that I think the floor of Tennessee's program with him is 8 wins right now. I don't know if they're going to get to that elite level with him. I ask it all the time. Will Tennessee win a championship under Josh Heupel, an SEC or national championship? I lean no, but I still think he's a really good coach. But these are the hard decisions of why you make the big bucks. These are the kind of decisions that it's going to make or break the entire 25 season, and you hate you're doing this in April 11th in the middle of spring ball. Do you cut him loose? I mean, let's look at the room. Obviously, Nico's the starter. You got Jake Merklinger. You saw him very little of him. Actually came in the Alabama game last year. From Calvary Day in Savannah. What was Merklinger last year, actually? Should have had it pulled up, but hey, it only takes half a second anyway. So last year, Jake Merklinger was 6 for 9, 66%, 48 yards. And let's see what games. No, it wasn't Jake Merklinger who got it at Alabama. It was Gaston Moore who threw the bad pick. Yeah, it wasn't Merklinger. But yeah, Kent State and UTC. I mean, that's, again, I think Tennessee's schedule is very manageable next year, very similar to how Missouri's was this past year, and why I think they still have a shot to get into the college football playoff. But you do feel a lot worse. Let's call a spade a spade. You're starting a guy for the first time. You would not feel good about Tennessee making the college football playoffs if they let Nico go. Let's call a spade a spade. I think even with the brightest orange glasses could at least admit that. Could you still get there? Absolutely. But, man, this would be a wild card. Nobody's had to experience in college football in quite a while. Looking at the depth chart past that, I mean, you got Little George. I mean, George McIntyre. I mean, I don't know. None of us know the extent of how pissed off his current teammates are, and I think that's what is important. The current staff are. Like, what is that dynamic? Are people just seeing what Chris Lowe, who does a phenomenal job, best reporter in college athletics in the SEC, in my opinion, friend of the show? But, like, is that a little over-amplified? I'm not saying it is. I'm just bringing up hypothetical, playing some devil's advocate, and maybe they can work through this. But if not, and he's lost the team, you got to let him walk. Because at some point, it's going to rear its ugly head, and it's going to get you beat at some point. If this is an issue within the team and they don't want him, I'm telling you, Tennessee's not going on to the playoffs in this situation, even with him. Even if he improves a little bit. This will rear its ugly head in a close game late. It'll rear its ugly head at some point late. It could even be in that first game in Atlanta against Syracuse. It could be in, I told you, I think in year 5 for Josh Heupel, this is a must-win game against Georgia at home when you factor in this Georgia team. They'll be good. Georgia will be good, but you're getting them early in the right spot at home. I already said this is a must-win. Imagine if Nico goes and struggles, like I said. I mean, could this rear its ugly head in Alabama at Tuscaloosa? Josh Heupel struggles on the road, breaking in a new starter. You never know. Oklahoma, wild card at Florida. Hadn't won there yet. Again, manageable schedule, but even with Nico, and if there really is turmoil, maybe it gets fixed. But I would bet this is the worst case scenario. I don't know enough information. I mean, again, I've heard people I've talked to within the past 24 hours, I talked to you twice, they feel it's about 50-50 now. 55-45, even leaning that he does leave. And I think he wants to get back to the West Coast, UCLA, USC. I'd be a little surprised if it was Alabama. I know that's getting out there in the Twitter sphere, the Twitter streets is what it is, folks. But man, wild times. It's the state of college football. I don't like it. You blame the agent. You blame the father. And the only thing I'll blame Nico on is, hey, you step in the middle of that and say, hey, no, agent, whatever, no, dad. I'm going to practice. I'm not bailing on practice. I love this sport. I love my teammates. I love the University of Tennessee. We'll work out the contract negotiations on the side, but I'm about winning. I now question that with Nico Iamaleava. I fully question that now. But guys, before we get out of here, I appreciate you joining me for this reaction. But FanDuel Sportsbook is here to help you make every moment more. This app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Already have an account? FanDuel Sportsbook offers great promotions every day to all users. Profit boost tokens, new features like Parlay Hub, build your own same game parlay, or choose from one of the popular SGPs already made for you in the Parlay Hub. If you haven't signed up yet, go to FanDuel.com/SECU to learn more. So visit FanDuel.com/SECU and get into the action with offers you don't want to miss. Must be 21 plus and present in select states or older and present in DC. First online, real money, wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with the Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit Gambling Helpline ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York, folks. Nico Iamaleava, will he be at Knoxville next year, folks? As the days keep going. I'm not as confident in that. That'll be the first big holdout, opt-out, someone going off in the middle of the spring. Man, wild times, guys. I appreciate you joining us for the reaction. Again, I'm your college football analyst. College basketball, if you've been following us as well, as I'm sure you have because the SEC was so good this year. Dave Shumate, former college football player personnel director in the SEC and other places as well, guys. But hey, before we get out of here, go like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell us where we can get better, guys. But remember, this reaction brought to you by our buddies over at FanDuel. You have a phenomenal day.